I mean, it's probably one of the biggest mysteries that you could know, right? I mean, it's just amazing. My name is Mike Holmberg, and I'm the president of Mark9 and then the lead human remains instructor. I've been on the team, 14 years now. The team's been around for over 20, based out of the Dallas area, and we serve law enforcement and government agencies to, help find missing people. This is Aspen, and she is my partner, and she is a 6-year-old German Shepherd. And she is trained to do live finds, so she finds missing people. She does scent specific, like you would see on TV, where you give them a scent article and go find just that person. She does water recoveries, so she can find missing people underwater, and she also does human remains. So she's cross-trained in multiple disciplines. This dog amazes me because she is so focused and so businesslike. I mean, she can be a sweetheart at home, and you can see her now, she's smiling and she's having a good time, but when it's time for her to go to work, it's all business. She doesn't want anybody talking to her, nobody around, just let me do my job. What we're looking for when they're doing that work is those subtle body language and behavior changes that you would see when they're in the odor, like the head up or the climbing the tree, or you saw with Aspen, so she's biting the leaves, but that's actually scenting and trying to pick up the scent on the leaves. We knew almost immediately that the dogs were in odor, so trying to let them work through that a little bit and then try to give some kind of an indication where they thought that odor was coming from. Their noses are able to pick up those different odors, and I've always used the example of, like, if your grandmother was cooking stew, you just smell the odor of the stew and it smells great. But these guys are picking out the flavor of the pepper and the sauce and the meat and the onions and the tomatoes. All those things they're picking out separately. So when they go into a situation like a landfill, you can imagine all the things that are in that landfill. They're able to pick out and filter through all of that and still be able to find that piece of human remains that they're looking for, because that's what they're trained to find. When you have something that's probably, under the earth 6 or 8 feet, and it's been there for 85 years, that odor's, coming out 10 feet over here and 10 feet over here, and it's coming in different places. And I think that's where you're marking those flags. That doesn't mean that's exactly where that source is under there, but it gives you, if you saw all those flags, it gave you a little bit of a perimeter of where we thought that main odor was.
Pretty much same place?
Yeah.
You can see where there were some cases where they may not be sure, and there was a slow sit or a slow down, and then you saw with that head snap back and a quick down. That's way more definite to us when we're looking at that. They're an incredible resource to do the kind of work they're doing, to solve these mysteries, to try to find human remains, whether they're buried or in the water. I don't think there's any better resource because of the way they're trained to do. Their noses are amazing. Their sensory in their noses thousands times more than what a human's is, and they can just detect so much that we can't do. I thought it was interesting having the debrief beforehand, and we talked about the concrete slab and the information you guys had from the witnesses that the bodies were placed in the concrete and it was covered with the mesh to keep them from moving as concrete cured. And to be able to have that one piece of foundation pulled up and actually see that wire mesh in there, I thought that was pretty amazing, because that's not common from that period of time to do that. So that, to me, that was just a specific, like, wow, that's a big find. And then the other piece, to be able to pull up that flag and then have them dig up and find the other piece of rock that had what really looks like a rubber shoe sole, right? And even with the heel imprint, to me, that was probably even bigger to me. I thought that was like, wow, this is amazing. If that's a shoe sole, then they're there. They're there. I think they're definite pieces of evidence that could help solve the mystery. To me, that's the success and the win of what we did. To me, the bigger thing is those families. you know, their loved ones have been missing for over 85 years with no answers. They don't know anything, and being able to provide answers finally to those families and loved ones, that would be the biggest thing to me.